Good evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football channel, your daily Arsenal news, updates, debates and my opinions. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. We're trying to get to 6,000 subscribers. Today, the Arsenal versus PSV preview. The Champions League is back. In fact, it kicks off in 45 minutes time, which is where we'll end the stream because I want to go and watch AC Milan versus Newcastle United. I think it's going to be a very good game, very exciting. But of course, we'll be talking about Arsenal. We'll be talking about PSV. We'll be talking about Arteta's press conference, which he gave this afternoon. And we'll also be talking about Aaron Ramsdale and my frustration at the media and the way they've immediately latched onto the Ramsdale Raya situation. But it's good to see you all. I hope you've all had a fantastic day. I can see Leo the Gooner, Hi is back, no problem. The Shadow Claw, Jack, Southern Reporter, Thomas Willis, Ethan Udall, Connor as well. And good to see you on TikTok as well if you're just joining. If you want to watch the stream on YouTube rather than on TikTok, the Instagram icon in my bio will take you there. Blueprint, SS1, Argent, good to see you as well. Am I going tomorrow? I am going tomorrow. I haven't missed a home game in, I don't know when the last time I missed a home game was. A very long time. So I will be there. I am still trying to get North London Derby tickets, which is proving to be problematic. But we'll cross that bridge after we've got tomorrow out of the way. Connor says he got a PSV ticket on the exchange yesterday after the stream. 3 hours of graft, buzzing. Do you know what? There is, as much as it is insanely frustrating using the ticket exchange, there is a feeling of like gratification when you finally get one. The hard work has paid off. So well done, Connor. I hope you enjoy the game. Still living off the Guess the Gooner win yesterday. It was a big win, Shadowclaw. It was a big win. Francisco Oliveira, good evening. Ethan Briggs, I ain't been here in a while. Well, I wasn't here for a while, so you weren't the only one, but it's good to see you back. Will Pitts, Lee talking shit on Football Terrace. Well, there is a surprise. In other news, water is wet. Blueprint paid £150 for his ticket tomorrow. Mine only cost me 30 quid, so very lucky. Anyway, on to Arteta's press conference, which he gave this afternoon. He was asked how he feels ahead of his first ever Champions League game as a manager. He said he's proud, he's excited. It's been a long time for the club since we've been in the competition, and obviously it's the first time for him as a manager, so he's really looking forward to it. He said if he was asked if that's the same for the players, and he said yes. We've been chasing for it, fighting for it, and now we've got it. We have to make the most of it. It starts at home, and I'm sure our supporters are going to be really excited about it, and it's about managing that and enjoying the challenge. And I do think the supporters are going to be very excited. Honestly, when the Champions League music starts tomorrow night, it is gonna hit different. Drakkar, good to see you back. I am happy to be back. And Lackey Dacky, in Arteta we trust. In Arteta we do trust. But yeah, when that Champions League music hits, and then North London Forever hits, it is going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. He was asked about Gabriel Martinelli's injury status. He said he felt something in his hamstring and we need to do some further tests to assess if there is any big damage or not, but he will be out for tomorrow's game, that's for sure. And obviously that doesn't bode incredibly well for the next few games either. So not ideal. Gutting for Martinelli to miss the game. Funnily enough, there's I noticed that a video from nearly a year ago started picking up quite a few views today, and people were liking it and commenting on it on TikTok. And it was, the video was Arsenal versus PSV injury news, Martinelli injured, or something along those lines. And it was from the Europa League last season where Martinelli was injured for the PSV game. So he's very unfortunate, but hopefully he'll be back soon. Hopefully it's not a big hamstring issue. It doesn't keep him out for too long. Oslo Guna says, do you think Ramsdale will want to leave if Raya continues to play, or is it just paper talk? We'll get into that, Oslo. I'm gonna talk about that, so we'll come back to that one, but it's a good question. He was asked whether Martinelli will be fit for the Tottenham game. He said it's a possibility, but we don't know yet. We need some more tests. I would suggest not. Obviously, he wasn't in training today. He was asked who will start in goal, as he usually doesn't divulge team news, and he said it's the same answer. He's not going to tell them who's going to be in goal, obviously. He was asked if he's confident of progressing from the group stages. He said that's what we want to do, but this is football, and tomorrow we're going to play against a really good team. They haven't lost a game yet this season, and they have won the majority of them. They've actually won all of them, and they're used to winning like every other team that's in the Champions League. It will be a really tough test, I'm sure, about that. It's fine. He's given them some respect, which is fair enough. On the importance of senior players who have played in the competition before, he said it's great to have that mixture and excitement it creates of playing for the first time. I sense it. We have players that have played in it for many years, and some of them have won it. It's just mixing that experience and deciding to make your debut in the right way to perform at the highest level. Obviously, Jorginho, Havertz have both won the Champions League. Who else has been in it before? Ødegaard, I assume. I mean, we don't actually have many players that have played in the Champions League. El Neni might have done just before. Jesus, Zinchenko. No, we do. Yeah, we do. Jesus and Zinchenko as well. Yeah. So we do have some. Because we were talking about that last night on the Football Terrace, actually. Whether Arsenal have more players in our squad that have played Champions League than Newcastle. Thomas Partey, Saliba. Yeah, we do actually have quite a few. Although I guess the difference with players like Saliba is that he's never played in the tournament in a team that would expect to do well. Did Gabriel? Timber would have done, yeah. Yeah, we do have a lot. Obviously, Timber's not in the squad, but anyway, I digress. He was asked on if he was surprised by the reaction to the goalkeeping switch on Sunday, which, by the way, the reaction to this goalkeeper scenario is so blown out of proportion, it's ridiculous. I've never seen so much drama, so much speculation over what is quite a simple situation. We have two very good goalkeepers. They will compete. Just seen Lee Gunner say Arteta should drop Saka. Yeah. I mean, genuinely, the man takes delusion to another level. He was asked about his reaction to the goalkeeping switch. He said, "No, I respect opinions and I understand the questions and I understand historically that's what happens. For me, there is nothing different. We've been doing it for many years. When Leno was here, we brought Aaron in, and I don't see any differences, but it is my job. I have to answer the questions in the best and most honest way, and as a manager, it's my job to do what I feel is best for the team and best for the club, not for me." Brighton have rotated their keeper and hardly a word about it. Yeah, exactly. And someone made a point today. I can't remember who. It might have been like Charlie Austin or Charlie Adam. Someone made a point that it's probably because Ramsdale is an English goalkeeper who's pressing in the England squad that more has been made of it. And I think that probably is a factor when it comes to the English media. He was asked about the importance of our supporters tomorrow. He said, "We will see tomorrow night, but I'm sure it will be an incredible atmosphere and they will create a special night. I've played in a few of them with my club and I have beautiful memories of them, so we're waiting for it." And it will. I think the atmosphere is going to be unbelievable tomorrow. Arsenal will get stick for anything. It's true. Matt Medius is back as well. Long time no see. Indeed. Good to see you back, Matt Medius. He was asked about the role of Martin Ødegaard in rebuilding and the rebuilding process that we've had. He said he's our captain and a really important player for us, and a player who has developed, evolved, and been on this journey with us together for a few years. He's been instrumental in everything that we've done and building the culture that we wanted. He was asked about Mohamed El Neni being the only player who remains from our previous Champions League campaign. He said he's still young, though. He's in a good place. Obviously, it's been a while, and he's had a very significant injury, but I think he's in the latter stages of that rehab process. He's been training for almost 2 weeks with the team, and he is in a good place. It's always great to have him around. So, El Neni probably not going to be in the squad, but he is the only player that's played for Arsenal in the Champions League before. He was asked about the response from Aaron Ramsdale. He said, "I don't want to talk about the response of every single player in the squad, whether they play or not. I'm sorry." He was asked about Fabio Vieira starting at Everton, who I thought had a very good game. He said, I said many times that I hadn't played Fabio enough and that he hadn't had enough room in the team with the competitions that we played to participate more. But every day we see the talent that he's got and what he can bring to the team. I was really happy with his performance at the weekend. Is there a hint there? Is there a hint there that Fabio Vieira starts tomorrow? I think he should. Emilio is back. Sorry I'm late. No problem. It is good to see you back. Game starts 2 p.m. my time and I'm off work at 2:30. Do I start feeling bad and go home early to catch the game? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Who would you start against PSV on the left? Nelson or Trossard? Do you know what? I'd actually start Reece Nelson, but I think it will be Trossard. I do think it'll be Trossard. Hello, Rory. I have a question. Who has been Arsenal's best player so far this season? Who's been Arsenal's best player so far this season? For me, it's between two. For me, it's between Declan Rice and William Saliba. And I would give it to William Saliba, personally. I think he's been absolutely sensational. And Matt Media's just got back from Singapore for the F1. Nice to see the streams again. I think Martinelli injury could be a blessing for Trossard to show his talents. Well, I mean, first of all, I hope you enjoyed Singapore and the F1. It was a good race, actually. You got a good race. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. And maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I'm just gutted for Martinelli is the only thing. But at least we've got the depth to deal with it. At least we've got the depth to deal with it. Where was I? He was asked about the journey to return to the Champions League. He said it's a learning process when you're looking to achieve. I've got a cowboy hat on TikTok. That is sensational. Thank you for the cowboy hat. Yeah, he said, I think we did that and we got better as a team and we did the right things as well to improve the squad. Now we're here and I think we fully deserve to be here. And we do deserve to be here. We do deserve to be in the Champions League. He was then asked about the stylistic differences between Ramsdale and Raya. He said, it's not something I want to get into. I don't want to speak about how different Eddie is to Martinelli or to Reece. Every player has a different personality and different characteristics. He is very much not interested in talking about Raya and Ramsdale. And again, you know, it's funny, right? Because journalists effectively get one question each. They go to a press conference, they get one question each. He's been asked 3 questions about Ramsdale and Raya, despite the fact that all of the journalists know he doesn't want to talk about it. And so the second 2 have just wasted a question. What a waste of a question. You know he's not going to talk about it. And then he was asked on PSV and if he knows the Mexican player Lozano. He said every player is dangerous at this level. Tomorrow we will have a lot of things that we have to control, but I think the main thing is that we focus on ourselves and play at the level that we have to play to earn the right to win the game. Arteta's favourite phrase, to earn the right to win the game. And he ended the press conference with that. So there you go. That is the presser. Louis Shelton says Jorginho, Havertz and Smith Rowe midfield. Not for me, personally. Dropping Declan Rice, not the one for me, personally. Ibrahim Ahmed says, guys, we may get Ivan Toney in January. Did you hear the rumours? Yeah, there were rumours about Ivan Toney today. Basically, it was confirmed. I think it was John Cross in the Mirror said that Ivan Toney wants to move to Arsenal. And then Team News and Ticks put up a screenshot basically saying that he had received over the summer, basically saying as well that... I've got another cowboy hat on TikTok. Sensational. Thank you very much. That Ivan Toney wants to move to Arsenal. But the Arsenal side of things, whether or not Arsenal want him, is another question. Thoughts on the Union Berlin story? I don't know what that story is, Leah. You'll have to enlighten me on what the Union Berlin story is. I don't know what it is. Hi Rory, it's Jack. I told you I finally got a ticket for PSV and now just found out I'm in for Sevilla via ballot success. There you go. Also going to the Sheffield game too. Massive for Gashers. I didn't get a Sevilla ticket. So severe depression is what I would call that. So yeah, back to the... I've still not... My own Red membership has still not got a single ticket from the ballot. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. How long is Martinelli out for? Would have loved to see Saka and Martinelli. We don't know. Until they do more tests. There were rumours that it's probably only going to be 2 to 3 weeks because it's only a small grade 1 hamstring issue. But we'll see. That's a serious dad joke. Yeah, it was a good one, though. It was a good one. Wearing the Germany kit in support of Bayern tomorrow? No, I just quite like the kit. ESR gone in January/summer, or do you think he'll start picking up minutes? I think he'll start picking up minutes. I do think he'll start picking up minutes in the same way that Fabio Vieira is now. There's going to be enough minutes for everyone. I don't think people realise that when you're playing twice a week in both the Premier League and the Champions League, everyone gets minutes. Everyone gets minutes. See, the Newcastle fan got stabbed. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Some people just take... The thing is, right, there's people that take football too seriously, and then there's people that use football as an excuse to go out and just commit violent acts that they want to commit. It's a disgrace. Personally, starting Saka, Jesus, Nelson tomorrow. Would love ESR in midfield. Not a bad shout. And I think I would also start Saka, Jesus, and Nelson. And that may be harsh on Trossard, but I think I would do that. I don't think that will happen. I think Trossard will start. But for me, my starting 11 tomorrow would be Ramsdale in goal, who, regardless of if you think David Raya is a better goalkeeper, Ramsdale has earned the right to start the game tomorrow. Ben White at right back, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Declan Rice, Fabio Vieira, Martin Odegaard, Saka, Jesus, and Reece Nelson. That would be mine. Let me know what yours would be in the chat, but that would be mine. AA, Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Rice, Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Saka, Trossard, Jesus. Interesting. AA, why would you drop Ben White? I think Ben White's been really one of our more solid, consistent players this season. Unless you would just drop him to rest him. But who are your top targets for January? Mine are Diamonde and Zubimendi. Yeah, I do like Diamonde. I've seen good things about him from quite a few analysts. I don't know. Do you know what? I've not massively thought about it. Obviously, the summer window's only just closed. So by the time it gets to January, we will almost certainly have injuries that change who I'm thinking about getting in January. If you pick up a couple of injuries in the attacking line, maybe you're looking for a winger. So we'll see how that goes. Shadowclaw just wants ESR minutes. I would love to see him at least come on as a sub and get some Champions League minutes, yeah. Gashers would go for Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, White, Gabriel, Kivior, Jorginho, Vieira, Smith Rowe, Saka, Jesus, and Reece Nelson. I think you're slightly underestimating PSV, and I think you're slightly underestimating the importance of getting off to a winning start. I think PSV are comfortably the trickiest team in our group that we will face. I wouldn't make that many changes to the back line. Wouldn't drop Saliba. Wouldn't drop Zinchenko, personally. And I'd much rather, let's say that PSV are actually not as good as I'm giving them credit for. I'd rather start full strength and go 2 or 3-0 up and make a few changes in the 60th minute than take a bit of a gamble. PSV played 4-1-4 in the Dutch league. They've played 4-1-4. They've scored 12 and conceded 1. All right, it's the Eredivisie. It's not the best league, but I don't think we should be underestimating them. And look, right now the squad is fit. We've only been playing a game a week. I don't think we need to rest players right now. I would far rather get 3 or 4 wins in the Champions League under our belts and basically guarantee qualification. And then in the last couple of games, if we've done that, then you can start looking at resting players, where players will have started getting more tired. PSV is the strongest team apart from us. We need to win. Yeah, exactly. Just cautious about resting players for the North London derby. But I see your point. I just think you could rest players and it cost you the PSV game, and then that morale boost and that confidence knock ends up costing you the North London derby anyway, and then you lose both of them or draw, So I think this is a really important game. Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Tomiyasu, Kivior, Rice, Havertz, Vieira, Saka, and Ketia Trossard. Very interesting. I think not having Jesus is a big call. Not having Zinchenko, I think, is crazy. I know Zinchenko has had injury issues, and if there are players that need a rest, he's probably one of them, but I think Zinchenko has to start, for sure. Rams would play David Raya. Not for me. Ramsdale's earned the right to start this game. If Ramsdale starts one more game in his entire Arsenal career, if Raya really is replacing Aaron Ramsdale, you give him the first Champions League game because he earned it. Jemana says, I think PSV would be the second team that makes it out of the group with Arsenal. Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be them second. I think we'll win the group. I think PSV will come second. I think Lens or Lens or however you pronounce it will come third, and Sevilla will come fourth. I know a lot of people say, Sevilla are. A lot of people say Sevilla will come third and then they'll win the Europa League because that's just what they do. Sevilla are garbage. Like, where are they in the table? Sevilla are currently 17th in the table. They've played 4, won 1, and lost 3. And the team that they beat was Las Palmas, who were in 19th. They're just not good. Do we go undefeated in this group? I think we should. I think away at PSV is the trickiest tie that we have, but I think we should go unbeaten in the group, yeah. Ideally is play the usual 11, Ramsdale in goal, 3-0 at half-time, and then get Saka and Jesus, etc. off ready for the North London derby. I agree. That would be the sensible thing to do, in my opinion. Because otherwise, right? Don't get me wrong, we could rest players, we could play a weakened starting 11 and still win, and that would be sensational. But you could end up in a position where, like, you rest some of the better players, you're not winning the game in, like, the 60th minute, and then you sub all of them on, and I typically find, and I don't know if there's data that backs it up, players are more likely to get injured when they come on as a sub and have to immediately play at a really high tempo and a high level. So you end up in a position where I think you're just as likely to pick up injuries to those players anyway. Do you think Smith Rowe has any chance of starting tomorrow? No, I don't. And only because if he was going to start, I think it would be in the left 8. And I think Fabio Vieira is going to start there, or Havertz is going to start there. So no, I don't think Smith Rowe will play. I think Smith Rowe will come in place of Ødegaard quite a lot. I think my first choice, if Ødegaard needs a rest, my first choice to replace him would be Smith Rowe. So I think that's where we'll see him come in more. So I think Vieira and Havertz, that left-sided 8, will fight for it. I think Ødegaard 100% has the right-sided 8 spot, but I think his natural backup will be Smith Rowe. Where are you sat? Somewhere in lower tier. I can't actually remember. But I know it's lower. It's lower tier and in one of the corners. Thoughts on Bayern and Chelsea's interest in Ramsdale? Right, so we'll talk about this. We'll talk about this nonsense regarding Aaron Ramsdale. So there's a few things that have come out. This is from Sami Mokbel mainly, right? And don't get me wrong, I massively respect Sami Mokbel. Over the course of the summer, Sami Mokbel was very good when it came to Arsenal transfer news. I do find that journalists have a bit of an issue when the transfer window closes and their big breadwinner from the last few months kind of dries up. And so Sami Mokbel has said today there are internal concerns about Ramsdale's start to the season amid a sense that David Raya was likely to overtake him at some stage this season. It remains to be seen how Arsenal react if they were to receive offers in excess of 60 million next summer. Then he said, Arsenal's Aaron Ramsdale's future is being closely monitored by rival clubs after his role as Arsenal first choice was thrown into uncertainty, with Chelsea and Bayern Munich among those understood to be keeping abreast of developments. I just question that reporting, and I think it's far more likely. And look, this is the thing. It was immediately painted as a big issue when Raya came in, right? And the instant reaction is, how is this going to be bad for Arsenal? Not how is this going to be good for Arsenal, not why has Arteta chosen to do this. They're not listening to why Arteta says that he's done this. Everyone kind of instantly went to, this is bad, it's going to cause problems. And I think they probably wrote 2 articles. I think they wrote an article for the situation where Raya hadn't played any games. And the article is, Raya is growing frustrated at his lack of opportunities at Arsenal. It's causing internal friction. And then they wrote one for if Raya did start a game, which is, Arsenal are concerned about Ramsdale's form. And David Raya is set to replace him. And X, Y, and Z team are looking to sign him. And I just think that it is journalism. It's football journalism. It's getting clicks, and it's getting views, and it's getting reactions. Just as an example, how are Chelsea going to sign Aaron Ramsdale? Chelsea could have signed David Raya. They went and signed Robert Sanchez. They've just sold Mendy. They've got, Kepa's gone. What? And suddenly they're going to spend in excess of 60 million on Aaron Ramsdale. Like, it's just not plausible. It's literally, the journalism is like, which team buys lots of players? Chelsea. There you go. So I look, we'll see what happens. But for now, we knew David Raya was going to have to get game time. We knew we weren't bringing him on loan to not use him and then either buy him or sell him or not buy him at the end of the window, at the end of the season. So we knew this was going to happen. But the second it has happened, there's immediately this uproar. It's just a bit boring. Ultimately, it's a non-story. Think we sign Ferguson next summer if we don't get Tony? I'd much rather sign Ferguson than Tony, I think. I think the ceiling of Ferguson is unbelievable. Makes you laugh. City changed their keeper on and off last year, but nothing gets said. Yeah, exactly. And in fairness, I do think at City there is a more obvious number 1 and number 2. Edison is the number 1, but I just think it's unnecessary drama, isn't it? Let's be honest. But there we go. That's all there is on Aaron Ramsdale. I would never pay 120 million for Ferguson, but it isn't up to me. Yeah, but a lot of people wouldn't have paid 105 million for Declan Rice, and I think it's been well worth it. So, I think that's what they'll charge. 100. Yeah, possibly. Gasha further up said, hot take, end of the season, our starting midfield will be Rice, Vieira, and Ødegaard. I think you're correct. I think you are correct. I think that's the way it's going. If Fabio Vieira keeps up his performances and continues with the form that he's in and continues to get better, I think that will be the midfield. And crucially, if Declan Rice in the big games against the big teams can still dominate as the lone 6, then for sure, I think that it ends up being that midfield. When will ESR see game time? Kind of disrespectful keeping such a talent benched. Should get game time against sides like Fulham and Everton. But again, Martin, and this is the issue, right? And I understand what you're saying, and I can understand why it's frustrating to see a player like Smith Rowe on the bench. But Fabio Vieira is in very good form and looking very good. That would be a very talented player to have on the bench. Martin Ødegaard, you can't bench him. And again, we're so early in the season. We've only been playing a game a week. There's no reason to rest Ødegaard. In fact, if anything, you want these players playing a fair bit to get back up to the top speed. We're not at full flow yet. City aren't at full flow yet. No one's at full flow yet. You need a few games to get into that. So I get what you're saying. I think Smith Rowe will get plenty of game time in the domestic cups. I think he'll come on as a sub plenty of times. I think there will be injuries that provide options. And it's like, if you sell Smith Rowe because he's too talented to be on the bench, what do you then do? You bring in an academy player, or you just bring in someone that's not as good? And then all of a sudden you get a couple of injuries and it's like, oh, God damn it, I wish we had Smith Rowe. This is how you have. Look at the issues that United are having, that Chelsea are having because of injuries. We have a little bit of a buffer with that because of the depth of the squad that we've got. Right now, we've got Martinelli, Partey, Timber out injured, and we've only just got Gabriel Jesus coming back, but we've not been massively affected by it. And that's because of the depth that we've got. So it's good. I think it's a good thing. And yes, it means that there are difficult decisions. And yes, it means you look at players and you're like, oh, he really deserves more game time. But that happens across the board. Look at City. City last season, you'd be like, Julian Alvarez walks into basically every other Premier League team, but he was not getting much game time at all. But then when De Bruyne has got injured, they've moved it around and suddenly Alvarez is playing quite a lot. Do you think Havertz's form will pick up throughout the season? I do. Look out, and again, I know people say, oh, but Havertz hasn't been in the... Yeah, Havertz has had 3 years in the league. I just ignore the time that he had at Chelsea, I ignore it. I don't think he learned anything there. I don't think he'd massively developed at Chelsea. And I think he needs time. I do think he needs time. And I look at Fabio Vieira as a prime example. He needed time. And now suddenly he's looking good a year on. So people aren't used to us having squad depth. Some people won't play every game, but they will get their opportunity now because of 3 games a week. Yeah, exactly. Spot on. Would love to see Smith Rowe and Ødegaard play together. Feel like we can get that KDB and David Silva chemistry out of them. True. But I also think we're getting the, and I don't like to make the comparisons, but we're getting that sort of KDB, David Silva chemistry out of Ødegaard and Fabio Vieira, I think, and that will continue to grow as well. So he's lacking confidence. Yeah, Havertz is lacking confidence for sure. But it's not surprising. Where does Timber fit into our best squad? Someone just said on TikTok. Everywhere. Timber fits, and this is why at the moment, and it's brutal because again, I'd have actually said for the PSV game, I would have rested Zinchenko if we had Timber. Now, I don't think we've got anyone that comes close to the level of Zinchenko at left back. That means that we can rest Zinchenko. If we had Timber still, I'd be playing Timber in this game. I think Timber fits in at left back when Zinchenko needs a rest. I think he fits in at right back when Ben White needs a rest. He could potentially even compete with Ben White for that spot. I think he fits in at right centre-back when Saliba needs a rest. Or he goes at right back and Ben White goes at right centre-back. I think he fits in everywhere. And that's why it was such just such a damning injury. Someone else on TikTok as well said, update on Chelsea's FFP, please, Mr. Accountant. Sorry, mate, is this still January when I made that video, or are we nearly at the end of September? Rent-free for 9 months in your head, sunshine. Better we have a good player on the bench than a bad player on the bench? Yeah, exactly. Anyway, it is time for Guess the Gooner, the game where I give you an ex or current Arsenal player's career path minus the Arsenal part of it, and you have to guess who that player is. Fastest fingers first in the YouTube chat. If you're watching on TikTok and you want to get involved, the Instagram icon in my bio will take you there. Shadow Claw won yesterday. Can he do it back to back? Rory, how many players get into City's 11? No injuries, maybe just Saka. Is that worrying? I think Saliba gets into their starting 11. I think Saka gets into their starting 11. I think there's an argument that Declan Rice gets into it, but you'd struggle maybe between Rice and Rodri. Yeah, I mean, look, City have a very, very, very good team. It is the truth. It's tricky. Anyway, guess the Gooner. This player started at El Mokawaloon. They went to FC Basel on loan. They went to FC Basel permanently. And they went to Besiktas on loan. So, El Mokawaloon, Basel on loan, Basel permanently, Besiktas on loan. And there it is. And the first person to get it correct was Gashers. Mohamed El Neni is the answer. Gashers got it first. Lawrence got it second. Francisco Oliveira got it third. MCW got it fourth. And Ethan Udall got it fifth. So there you go. Congratulations to Gashers. It's all coming up Gashers at the moment. He's got tickets left, right, and centre. He's got Guess the Gooner. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But it was indeed Mohamed El Neni. And now for the guest, the non-gooner. This is a player who does not and has not played for Arsenal. I give you their full career path, and you have to guess who it is. Emilio, it says he meant to say El Neni, he promises. To be fair, to be fair, you weren't in the top 5 anyway, Emilio, unfortunately. But it was a good guess. You were correct. Anyway, guess the non-gooner. This player started at Gremio. They went to Paris Saint-Germain, Barcelona, AC Milan, Flamengo, Atletico MG, Querétaro, and Fluminense. Who is the player? Gremio, PSG, Barcelona, AC Milan, Flamengo, Atletico MG, Querétaro, and Fluminense. It is not Arthur. It is not Neymar. It is not Thiago Silva. It is not Maxwell. It is indeed, and Joe Edits has got it first, Ronaldinho. It is Ronaldinho. One of the greatest of all time. What a player. What a player. Joe Edits got it first. CK got it second. Gaming Dills 2 got it third. Lawrence got it fourth. 2 top 5s for Lawrence. And Devin got it fifth. So there you go. Congratulations to everyone that got it. Bro, this chat is laggy. Yeah, it can load quite slowly. But it does come through in real time for me. So don't you worry. Anyway, that is going to be the end of the stream for today. I want to get off and watch the Champions League and yet let you do the same. I think I will actually be live tomorrow before I head off to the Emirates. I will be live, I think. Will I? I think I'll be live. But until then, have a fantastic evening. Enjoy the Champions League games. I'm kind of annoyed, that Bayern against United is also on tomorrow. I'd have liked it if Bayern United was tonight. But it's not. So there you go. Have a good evening. Please do subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And I will catch you all tomorrow. Goodbye.